Hey guys, this is Greg from Citadel Roof Systems. We're on your roof in Nashua, New Hampshire right now doing a roof evaluation, and we want to walk this with you and show you some of the things that we have found. First off, this is a ballasted EPDM rubber roof, and as you can see you have a rock ballast on top of this. And so because of the temperatures out, a lot of these stones are actually frozen to the membrane. So we've been able to do some shoveling and take a look around and get a good idea of what's going on this roof, but we're not able to clear everything that we would like to for a more thorough evaluation. So we're going to show you what we found so far. As we come over here and we look at your membrane, this is a Firestone EPDM rubber membrane. It's a 45 mil thick membrane, and it was manufactured in December of 1984. So it was probably installed shortly thereafter. And we're going to take a look at some of these things. Here you can see the seams, and you can see that stuff there that looks like it's eroded over time right on the seam. That's called lap sealant. And this is a case for the whole roof here that the lap sealant on the seams is gone. And we've had a couple problems up here as a result of that. So that's one thing that's not the best of news, but on the good side, the field of your membrane, which you're looking at right now, which is the area that lies between the seams, that looks like it's in very good shape, which is typically the case with ballasted roofs because it protects the field of the membrane from UV degradation. And so as we come along here, we'll take a look at some more of these seams. You can see that the lap sealant is gone, and we'll take a look at this a little bit more as we go through the roof. When we come over here, the main areas of concern when we do these roof inspections are primarily seams, penetrations, and flashing. And as you look here, you can see this is called dog ear. That's a section where the flashing actually has released. And these here are called fish mouths, where the flashing has released as well, and you have an opportunity for water penetration. Now, as you're looking at this, you can see again the lap sealant is gone. The reason why these let go is because when the lap sealant fades away, you have something called freeze and pop that occurs. That's when the water gets underneath the actual flashing itself just a little bit, and then it expands when it freezes that night. And then the sun hits it the next day and it thaws and it goes in further, and then it freezes and expands more. So that's freeze and pop. That's what has these things let go on you, and you have quite a bit of freeze and pop up here. As we come around to this side, you can see these cracks. Now I don't know if earlier when I was pushing on that water was coming out. I might have pushed it all out already, but anyway, you can see that it's a crack there. That has water underneath it, and so you have many areas along this roof that have that along your penetrations and your flashing. And so as we walk along here, we'll take a look at some of the areas along your flashing that we had noticed that we wanted to point out to you. Again, you have these areas here. You can see that the lap sealant is gone on them, and so you have some freeze and pop going on. Again here, similar thing with fish mouths as a result of the freeze and pop that's taken place. In here, when we pushed on this, some water has come out from underneath that patch there. And that continues to be the case, you know, through here and on top of here. Now in this particular area, if this will focus well for me, you'll see that the membrane has actually stretched to the point where it's cracked in there. So in terms of repairs on this roof, the main areas of concern are going to be around all of your penetrations, along your flashings on the edge of the roof, and the seams, because everywhere that we've looked on this roof, the field of the roof is actually in very good shape considering the age, and we believe it will last for many years to come. Again, we have another seam with your lap sealant gone. And so let's go through and take a look at some of these penetrations that we have over here. Another area where you can see the lap sealant, and as a result we have this freeze and pop fish mouth that has occurred, and we'll take a look further up at another example of that as we come to this next section here. Now what we're noticing is you have a seam about every 6 feet on this roof that runs along the length of the roof. Now as we look at this one here, you'll see there's an edge here. It's sort of a hard edge. This is the pan for the penetration. So as I push on that, you can see that it's brittle. This area here has actually cracked because it's become brittle from UV degradation. That's typical. And so as we walk this roof, we're coming to the conclusion that this roof does not necessarily need to be restored, certainly does not need to be replaced, but that a tune-up would be a good option for this roof. As we look here again, you can see another area where we have dog ears and fish mouths. We have more over here that we see that this stuff is let go and is allowing probably minimal amounts of water to come in at this point. But in one season, those can open up quite a bit, so we want to be mindful of those areas. As we come over to the edge flashing, you can see here that we have the same scenario where the lap sealant is gone, and so we have some fish mouthing and things like that. Now we're going to walk up here. Hopefully you can hear me, it's pretty windy up here. We're going to walk over here and take a look. In these areas we have the same kind of issues happening. And so these are the areas of the roof that are really a concern. Now, as we come in this corner, you get the best example of what the condition of the field of the roof looks like. You can see that's in very good shape. And that's been the case everywhere we've looked. But again, when you see the flashing detail, you're having issues again. And so we're gonna go over here and just take a look at a couple more places. These are all more test areas that we've done. Same story as what we've covered now. So for the sake of time, we're gonna skip over them and move down to this corner, and you're getting an idea of what the roof is looking like at this point. Again, you can see the field of the roof there is beautiful. It's really been well protected by this ballast, but when you get to your flashing, again, you're having the fish mouths all the way around. And so that's what we're looking at. There's been a few patches that have been done on this roof. All the patches that we have found were properly installed and they're holding up well, so there's no concern with that. As we come over here to our last section, you're going to see, again, the results of that lap sealant going away, the freeze and pop, resulting in dog ears, fish mouths, and we have areas where water penetration is happening on some of these corners. And so that's it in a nutshell, guys. As of now, we would recommend a level 3 tune-up, which would essentially have us go through and we would uncover every single seam, flashing, penetration, and patch on this roof, and we would go through and we would do a full restoration system on just those areas and leave the field of the roof as is under the ballast because it's held up very well and has many more years of life expected in it. Now, we haven't been able to actually uncover as much of this roof as we would like to. It's possible that when the weather warms up, we could come through here and maybe discover that it would only need a level 2 tune-up, which would be a step down, less expensive, and have you in good shape. But as of now, just to be safe, we're gonna assume it's a level 3 tune-up. And so that would be our recommendation for this roof. You've seen the condition. If you have any questions, please let us know. Greg at Citadel Roof Systems, 603-969-0968.